What's up? I know it's only been 2 days since my last video, but I'm back here with another video. And today I want to talk about rap, which, I love rap. I grew up in a house of rap. My father was always playing stuff like Outkast, Goody Mob, Mobb Deep, Wu-Tang Clan, M.O.P., Nas, Jay-Z. Like, I grew up around hip-hop. I had, that's why I like doing it, and that's why I try to make hip-hop now. It's not as great as those guys, but I'm really working on it. But today I want to talk about my top 10 favorite underrated rappers. Now, when I say underrated, that means in my opinion. And my opinion is on underrated is that while a lot of people probably know some of these rappers, I don't think they have the same popularity as a lot of other rappers, even though I think their talent exceeds that of popular rappers. Now, don't get me wrong, there's great popular rappers out there like J. Cole and Kendrick who have great lyrics and they always make really good songs. I think these guys are just as talented as those guys, but they do not have near the popularity that they deserve. So here we go. My top 10 underrated rappers list. At 10, we have Ab-Soul. Now, if you know the group Black Hippy, you know it consists of Kendrick Lamar, Schoolboy Q, J-Rock, and Ab-Soul. And I think while Kendrick is the best rapper out of that group, I think Ab-Soul may be the better lyricist, in my opinion. Kendrick has amazing lyrics. Kendrick has amazing lyrics, and he sometimes beat Ab-Soul because he has changes in his flow that are great. But I think Ab-Soul is the better lyricist because Ab-Soul always has these great double metaphors and double meanings in his music, and I think those are really fun just to sit back and dissect. And, they're honestly just a delight to hear because it's just, like, makes you think more, and you're kind of like, oh, shit, that was a really good line. So Ab-Soul comes in at number 10. At 9, we have Big Crit. Now, if you're really into Southern rap, you've probably heard of Big Crit. And in my opinion, I think Big Crit deserves a lot more recognition because right now I believe he is the best artist out of the South doing Southern-style rap. Now, you may know some others like Killer Mike, and I love Killer Mike, just to be fair. I love Killer Mike. I think Big Crit is a great rapper, though. And on his last two projects, Catalactica and Forever is a Mighty Long Time, I think those tracks were just great. Everything on those albums was amazing. From top to bottom, they were consistently great. And I think Big Crit has a great storytelling presence. I love his voice. I love how he uses Southern drawl and Southern slang in his music. And I think it really adds to the atmosphere he's trying to create. And honestly, I love that he pays homage to his hometowns and stuff. And I think he also does really clever wordplay in his songs. Like, he always finds a way to make things rhyme, but still make it work to where it just isn't a bunch of words mashed together, but to where it forms a coherent story. And I think that's really hard to do, and I think it's really unique to find in rap these days. At number 8, now this one's a little tricky. I have Meek Mill. The reason I put Meek Mill here is because after his beef with Drake, I think people thought Meek fell off. People stopped listening to Meek Mill, which I thought was a shame because Meek Mill is a incredibly good rapper. Meek Mill is like the voice of the streets, in my opinion, for this modern age. Like, when Meek Mill talks about people getting killed in front of him, drive-bys and stuff, you really feel it. You feel that rawness of the story, and that's what I really like about Meek Mill. And I hate that it took him and Drake patching up their beef for him to finally get the recognition he deserved with championships, which I thought was stupid because this dude has had great songs and great lyrics since his mixtape days. Then when Dreams and Nightmares came out, he dropped the hardest album intro like in history. Like, tell me any album intro that is harder than Dreams and Nightmares. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. But seriously, Meek Mill should never have fell off because he was always a good rapper. I just think because Drake was so much more popular that people were like, oh, well, Drake won the beef, so I'm not listening to Meek Mill anymore, which I think was fucking stupid in my opinion. But anyways, nobody cares about my opinion. Number 7, we have Vince Staples. Now, there's a lot of people who know about Vince Staples, but I think Vince Staples deserves to be among the elite, like both commercially and talent-wise, because Vince has amazing talent. And Vince, much like Meek Mill, he paints a raw image of the streets. And what he does in his stuff is he's not glorifying gang violence in any way. He's often talking about the trials and tribulations that come with living in an area that's plagued with gun violence and gang violence. And honestly, I think he does it in such a way to where you really feel it. Like, you really feel it in his music, where he's coming from, the point of perspective. And, it's really interesting to see what he does with his music. And honestly, I think Summertime '06 and Big Fish Day were some of the best albums dropped in the past decade. Like the 2010s are filled with good rap. That should be included in the pantheon of that. And FM was a pretty good album too. It didn't disappoint. It brought us back, like, you know, that gangster Vince. But it was a little easier to listen to and a little more accessible than some of his other albums. Now, on to number 6. It's probably one of my favorite lyricists of all time, and that is Black Thought. If you do not know who Black Thought is, he is a member of The Roots. They were the first hip-hop band, and what I mean by that is they played actual instruments and would do raps over it. And it was really fucking good. And Black Thought always delivered on his part with the lyrics, and you probably see him most likely on Jimmy Fallon as that guy who's on there who can do the rapping. And honestly, if that's all you know about Black Thought, you need to go check out some more of his music because he's actually amazingly talented. He always has these great double metaphors. He's always, you know, he's always changing his cadence. He's always working with his flows. And honestly, his music's really entertaining. And when you sit down and dissect it, it goes to a whole nother level of enjoyment because you're realizing there's so many hidden layers in his music, and it makes it that much better. Now, on to number 5. Now, this dude, in my opinion, dropped the best album of 2018, and that was Denzel Curry. Now, Denzel Curry really hopped onto the scene in 2013. He released his debut album, Imperial, in, I don't know, it was either 2015 or 2016. I know because I was listening to Denzel Curry back. It was 2015 because I was listening to Denzel Curry back in freshman year, and honestly, this dude is incredibly talented. Now, on Imperial, you catch more of his, like, angry kind of hype flow, like where he's spitting really fast on tracks like ULT, This Life, and Gook. And while I like that part of Denzel, I like that rap, what he did on Taboo was really, really cool because he explored his sound more, talked about more mature subject material in it. And honestly, I think it enhanced it so much, and I think it made that album so good. And honestly, I think that album was the best because it was the most explorative in sound with a rapper, and it was the most emotional of all those, and it had the best messages like Clout Cobain about how rappers will do anything for clout now and how they're kind of slaves to it. I think he just has this amazing talent, and I think it should be recognized by more people. Anyways, on to number 4. Now, number 4 is a rapper who's popping off lately. He's a Dreamville label rapper. You may know him. His name is JID, or J-I-D. Now, J-I-D, he's drawing a lot of comparisons to Kendrick Lamar, but I think he's a lot different than Kendrick Lamar. Though sometimes people like say, oh, their voices are kind of similar. I think J-I-D sometimes gets a little more creative with his flows. And I think he sticks more strictly to a natural style of rapping, whereas Kendrick sometimes will switch to like trap flows and stuff on certain songs. And while Kendrick can pull it off well, at times it's a little disappointing to see because I'm like, I want to see Kendrick rap. I don't want to see him do this trap bullshit. But JID is always rapping. And on certain tracks, like Off D's, I think he majorly outshines J. Cole. Even though J. Cole delivers a really great verse, I still think JID outshines him. And that's where I think his potential lies to be a great rapper in this game and why I think he needs to be recognized now before he just fades into the abyss. Anyways, at number 3, I got Dave East. Now, Dave East is getting a little more popular nowadays, but Dave East is a Harlem rapper. His mentor is Nas. And honestly, this dude is great. His raspy voice is really nice to listen to. I know that sounds weird. It's like, raspy voice, why the fuck would I want to listen to that? But hear me out. He always does such a great job with storytelling. He has great rhymes. He's really fun to listen to. He can hop on a track at any point, and he can just kill it. If you need evidence, go look at the East Coast remix from A$AP Ferg's album from last year. Don't know the title of it. Not going to bother looking it up. But I think Dave East is really good. I think he's bringing back that New York boom bap sound that I really like. And honestly, it's really fun to see it coming back. Now, number 2, we have another artist on the TDE label, and that is Isaiah Rashad. Now, Isaiah Rashad is different. Isaiah Rashad is just a storyteller, and he's using rap as the vehicle for it. And I think he does it so well. He does it better than a lot of other rappers can do. He tells clear, concise stories with rhyme schemes and metaphors and double entendres and other shit that is just so fun to listen to. And you know, Well, when I say fun to listen to, I don't mean like I'm gonna be jumping around my room or at a party, just like jumping around listening to it. I mean, I'm going to be sitting in my room and just really listening and dissecting the music, which is fun for me. And Isaiah Rashad, when you're dissecting the music, you find all these little things, and it makes your enjoyment even greater. And in my opinion, I think Isaiah Rashad probably on this list deserves the most recognition, but I also don't believe he has the best lyrical talent and overall talent. And that's why he's at number 2. To my number 1, Now you may have heard of him. He was big back in 2011, 2012, and that is Lupe Fiasco. Now Lupe Fiasco, his 2 biggest songs have probably been The Show Goes On, Battle Scars, and Touch the Sky when he was on it with Kanye West. Now, I think it's a shame that those are his most popular songs because this guy has such a rich discography that he has, and it's honestly just top tier level rap. If you want to see what rap really can be, you should listen to Lupe Fiasco. Now, he's another Chicago kid like many other rappers like Kanye and Common, but at the same time, I think he's better than Common, and I think he's on the level of Kanye West. The only thing that gives Kanye the advantage is Kanye's crazy production that he does. But I think Lupe, in terms of lyrics, would outshine Kanye on a song because Lupe is so good at telling these stories, and he's so good at drawing comparison to things, and he just gets you lost in music. You're entranced whenever you listen to him. He's honestly just an amazing rapper, and if you need any proof of how great he is lyrically, you should go listen to Prisoners 1 and 2 because that song is so good. He even has a part where he says, love is looking over various errors, and hate is habitually accelerating terror. And if you break it down, love is looking L over O various the errors E love. Hate is habitually H accelerating A terror TE. And if you can't really respect that wordplay, then you really shouldn't be listening to rap in the first place. But anyways, those are my top 10 underrated rappers. If you disagree with my opinions on anything, please let me know. Because, I like argument. I like talking to people, figuring out what they like, seeing if I should listen to something that they like. And honestly, this was really fun making this video. I liked making this list. And next time I'm going to be coming back with my 10 favorite films of 2018. So stay tuned.